Everyone always thinks it's the glue, but is it? Did you guys get that reference? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a video on adhesive. So has your lash retention not been very good and you guys think that maybe it's your adhesive? So the first question to figuring out if it's your adhesive is to know how adhesives work. The main ingredient in adhesive is ethyl cyanoacrylate. So we'll call it ethyl for short. Ethyl is what makes the adhesive sticky. Usually adhesives are made up from 80 to 90% of ethyl. Ethyl works by activating with water particles in the air to polymerize and start curing. So now let's talk about ingredients that you'll commonly find in adhesives. So all adhesives have the same 4 ingredients. Ethyl, which is made up of about 80 to 90% of your adhesive. Polymethyl methacrylate, also known as PMMA, that will make up approximately 5% of your adhesive. Carbon black, approximately 5%. Hydroquinone at approximately 0.01%. And how do these ingredients work? So ethyl, the main ingredient in the glue, is what's responsible for making your glue sticky or tacky. And it's also the main base ingredient found in nail adhesive as well. So that's why sometimes you might smell that kind of familiar nail salon smell. Polymethyl, or PMMA, is responsible for your long retention. The hydroquinone is what's responsible for keeping your glue from hardening before you've used it. Carbon black is responsible for the deep black color. And ingredients are always listed from highest quantity from least quantity. So whenever you're looking at anything in general and you read the ingredient content on the back, you'll always see that listed at the top will be the most used ingredient to the least used ingredient. So your first ingredient in your adhesives when you're looking should be the ethyl cyanoacrylate. So how to choose the right adhesive for you? Keep in mind, it's important to get an adhesive that works for the type of temperature and climate that you live in. The more humid your temperature or climate, the faster your glue will cure. Also keep in mind, how experienced are you? Do you move quickly through your set, or do you need more time before you reach your tile on the table to the time that you reach your client's eye? Think about dry time. Now we'll talk about usage, aftercare, and storage. So before using your adhesive, it's really important that you shake your adhesive for at least 30 seconds. I have a little nail shaker right here, nail shaker, that I use to shake up all my adhesive before I start working on my clients. We want to always make sure that our ingredients are emulsified. We also want to make sure after our glue has shaken that we wipe off the tip with a lint-free glue wipe like this. And you guys can find these on Amazon for, I believe, $5 or $6, not too expensive. After I shake up my glue in the glue shaker, I'll take my glue like this and I'll just wipe off the tip. Just wipe off the tip. And we want to make sure that we're using a cotton-free lint wipe, because if you use cotton, like a cotton swab or something like that, and you wipe the tip, then the cotton gets stuck around the tip of the glue and then you can't get the glue out because it's dried and it's created a cover over the top. So when you've completed your set and after you used your glue, what I always do is I always burp my glue. So how I burp my glue is I'll set it down on a solid surface like a table and I'll just push down on the top, and you'll see a bubble of glue come out the top, and I'll wipe it with my lint-free glue wipe. And so what that does is it just lets the excess air that's inside of the glue come out, and it helps so that your glue doesn't keep air inside of it. So for storage of glue, I always keep my glue in an airtight container like this one. And I found this on AliExpress for $3, but I think on Amazon they sell it for $10. So if you look at it, it just opens like this, it's airtight, and in the inside, I don't know if you guys can see that, on the inside it has like little divots where you can put all your glues in it, and it also has carbon beads, which I think help to just preserve the glue. You also want to store your glue in a safe place away from sunlight and also in a dry place, and where some place where the temperature is a little bit on the lower side. The ideal storage temperature for glue is between 68 and 72 degrees Fahrenheit. So how do you know when your adhesive has went bad? What I look for is a change in color. Usually adhesives that are going bad, they have this gray kind of color. Also, the consistency will often change when the glues are going bad. So it'll go from maybe a thicker glue to a thin and runnier glue. You'll also see when you drop your glue that when you take it away, it has like a thin string. It gets kind of stringy. The performance will often tell you if your glue is going bad. It won't adhere well to the lash, or you'll have bad retention from your clients. Also, a good tip is to write the date that you open the glue as soon as you get it. That will really help you. Most glues only have about a 2-month opening window. So from the time that you open your glue, you should be replacing your glue in about 2 months time from there. Okay guys, so we'll talk about the adhesive that I use. Okay guys, here you go. So this is the first adhesive that I ever got. This is the first adhesive that I ever got 5 years ago when I took my first lash training course, and it's through a company called Lashes on Broadway. I think they still are doing lashes, but I think they're doing something kind of different from lashes. I think they're not so much about lashes, but I don't know. You guys can Google them if you want. Lashes on Broadway. And this glue dries in about, I think it was 3 to 5 second glue. And this is when I was doing classics. So this is a very slow drying glue. This is 5 years old. I don't know why I kept it. Maybe I'm just a sentimental person. I'm like, I'm gonna keep this. Actually, I kept most of my glues. From that glue, I moved on to the pink cap glue from that company, Lashes on Broadway. And so this one was drying in, I think, 1 to 2 seconds, and I was using this for classics. And then again, I moved on to the brand. I guess they rebranded, and so you can see they have a new label, Broadway Lashes, not Lashes on Broadway. It became Broadway Lashes, I believe. And so I was using this glue for a while from them as well. But I started to notice that I just wasn't getting the good retention that I wanted. And also I started doing volume. So I don't think that this was a good adhesive for volume. Maybe it was just good for classics. And after that, I ventured out and I decided that I was gonna try a different brand, which was really scary for me because for like 3 years, I used the same glue from the same company. So for me to venture out to find a different glue was like really scary because I didn't know if this was gonna go good or this was gonna go bad. So I did a lot of research and I found out a lash artist that actually works in the area. The product that they used was Sugar Lash. So I researched about them and I ended up getting this Sugar Lash Elite Bond, which I did like. It was really expensive, you guys. I didn't like the price because it was pretty expensive, but they got good reviews. And you can see that the 4 ingredients in this are the ethyl, the methyl, the hydroquinone, and the PMMA and the carbon black. So this is the 4 main ingredients that I was talking to you guys about in previously. So you can see most glues have the same 4 ingredients. So this one worked well, and I did have good retention with this. It's just I didn't go back to rebuy this because it was too expensive for my budget. So I decided after that maybe I would spend money on a lesser priced one off of Amazon, because you guys, I feel like Amazon right now, in the beginning 5 years ago, Amazon used to be like a super taboo place to buy like anything of quality. Like, don't buy anything from Amazon. But I feel like now Amazon's like, it's really like getting competitive, and I feel like a lot of lash artists, lash companies, they're now selling through Amazon. So I feel like it's not such a taboo place to buy lash equipment anymore. This one on Amazon, the Lion Lash, I don't feel like this was a bad one, you guys. This is the thing that I didn't like about this one, was that it took too long to dry on my client's eye. So I would put the lash on and I would be waiting for, seemed like eternity, for this glue to dry. So I didn't like this, but you can see again that the ingredients in this for glue are the same 4 ingredients that you guys saw in the more expensive Sugar Lash glue, which are the ethyl, the methyl, PMMA, hydroquinone, and then the carbon black. So it's the same 4 ingredients that you'll see again in the Sugar Lash. And then now we'll talk about Stacy Lash. That's the one that I'm currently using, and I have bought probably about 3 of these so far. I really like Stacy Lash because I feel like it's a glue that works really well for my humidity, my temperature. my speed, my dry time. I've had pretty decent retention with Stacy. So it's a glue that I will continue to buy. Some people don't have good retention with this glue, and you have to think maybe where are they living? Are they in a place where it's humid or it's dry, or maybe their temperature is too high or too low, because that can really affect the retention of the glue that you guys are purchasing. And then also with this glue too, you can also see that the 4 main ingredients, again, in this glue are ethyl, methyl, PMMA, hydroquinone, and the carbon black. So you guys can see with all of these glues that really adhesive, although they might vary a little bit depending on where you are temperature to temperature, it's not always the glue. For the most part, what I've learned from this whole little research experiment is that glue is basically the same. They all have the same ingredients. So if you're having retention problems, you might want to look at some other details that we might be missing. We'll go ahead and talk about retention in another video, and I'll go over some things that could be affecting your actual retention. But let's not always go straight to blaming the glue, because it might not always be the glue. Okay guys, so if you enjoyed this video about adhesive and glue, please comment below with some of your favorite glues, or maybe some questions that you might have regarding glues and adhesives. And I'll see you guys on the next video.